Oh, for an intro?
Yeah. Well, I'll do a quick post recording of that. Welcome back, diners, to the 13th episode of Dinner for Wolf. Usually, this is the part where we state this is a movie viewing podcast, but it's a little different this time. This special episode is more of a podcast listening podcast, where the Dinner for Wolf crew take a good hard look at the year gone by. Maybe it wasn't movies that were terrible. Maybe the real terribleness were the friends we made along the way. And we have our season finale, where we talk about all of the wonderful challenges we've had recording, what was it, 12, 13 episodes? I'm joined by...
Great.
Blue. Well, good start. Good start. And blue.
whatever, it doesn't matter.
Leave it in. Leave it all in.
We're on video, too. We're on video, so that doesn't happen. And yet, here we are. It's fine.
And I'm Red. This is like the origin story of our three characters. So I want to say in March, watched Godzilla versus Kong, and that was like we had like during COVID we had this thing where we were playing games, of course, together, but we wanted to do something else to kind of change it up. So we decided to just watch movies all together. And so we set up this crazy stream service where I would like stream to YouTube, like copyright stricken down, and then we had like 3 interchained Google Meets going on. You know, it's like
solid 30-minute stretch of Red trying not to kill me from
I'm pretty sure there's like a website that does this easily for you, but we couldn't figure it out. So like we did whatever we could to kind of tie together a voice chat and a movie viewing thing. All right, and we just had a blast watching Kong versus Godzilla, Godzilla versus Kong. It was a primo movie to watch and talk about.
Like we talked about that for days after, because it was just so silly and such like it was really the perfect movie to do that with.
Yeah,
I remember Ray and I had an extended argument about how ridiculous it was, about how quickly Godzilla shot through the entire Earth, how quickly Kong got back up through it, and how hard the aim it would be, depending on how big the hollow is in the hollow.
Yeah, of course,
that was a solid like 5 days.
That was actually literally the moment when we decided that this needed to be a podcast. When Blue could not fathom that if you're a big monkey and you fall faster because you're a big monkey and it's a big hole. Like he could not grasp that. So we needed other people to be witness to his small-mindedness.
Listen, we've been through this. He needs to jump up for the first half before he falls. Yeah. We're not doing this again.
Look, the answer is always because he's so big.
Yeah, that's the answer. He's just so big. So after that, we decided to watch the movie, but also kind of have like a dictation software record everything we say like during that thing, and then we would sum it up into kind of a script. We did that for maybe 6 of the movies, 7 of the movies, but
I think it was like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think we abandoned it pretty quick.
We dropped it after like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, it was fun, but like the only issue is it was more fun during the movie than it was during the podcast.
Right. We'd have our notes and we'd highlight the note. It was a lot of prep work, and B, like we'd be like, no, don't be funny now. Save it for the pod. And we're like, okay. And it just got,
Yeah, and what it turned into was more work for a less output.
Yeah,
right,
pretty
and
much.
less organic experience because like we were smart enough to do like notes to ourselves and not like write a script, so it was still like we'd have a prompt that the others would kind of know about and still
Yeah.
react to it. So it was still mostly organic, but since then we've kind of just gone to watch the movie, have a few points you want to talk about, bring it up, we'll react to it, move on, and I think it's helped our
And
flow
it,
a
it
lot.
doubled the amount of time required for a single
Yeah.
podcast. Like we had
Yeah,
not only did we have to
exactly.
watch it together, like we already kind of made our jokes during that podcast, and maybe one day
Mhm,
we'll actually
mhm.
do a live recording. But Blue goes off on on things, so like most of that stuff can't be live. Like I have to edit like literally 30 minutes of it, so
No
we
idea what you're
can't.
talking about. I'm seeing. Yeah.
And so that was our format. So we ran through pretty much that style of podcast, and this podcast now is kind of just like a wrap up of what we've done, and probably kind of like a I don't know a tale of warning for anybody who wants to do something similar to not do these things.
Yeah.
Also, a word of warning to people of if you use Discord to record, check to make sure every now and then that Discord is recording,
Yeah,
so you don't
Oh,
lose half a podcast.
yeah.
Which
yeah.
Also,
Wait.
Red,
also
Let's
Red,
see.
how
what
are
to
we?
record with. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Red, how are we doing on that recording status? By the
still
way.
going. I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so we lost, let's see, we lost half of the Batman podcast and
Yeah,
had to do a recreation of the second half in which we trimmed it down to just the
Yeah,
key
yeah.
points.
Listeners,
Which,
remember the Batman is a 3-hour movie. We lost half of our podcast about that movie. Anyway,
and we
continue.
literally
Yeah.
lost an entire podcast. There's one
yeah,
episode that will never
Yeah.
see the light of day
right.
because
Yep.
the recording only recorded me, and it's
Mhm.
Yep.
just me talking to myself.
Yep. Yep.
Which
Yep. Yep. Which
I kind of like if we get enough like enough followers, we should release that as like
Yeah,
Red's Descent into Madness friggin'
yeah.
podcast.
You guys
which
could just respond to what I say.
Right.
remind me, I'm actually drawing a blank. Which movie was it that we
I don't
lost the
remember.
podcast altogether?
Either. So good.
We all forgot what movie? Are you
Yeah, I don't
serious?
remember at all. It was something. It was something pretty wild though, because like we were pretty like adamant
Hold
about
on.
it.
Hold on. We can do this. We can do this.
We
What?
were pretty hyped about it at the
Yeah.
time.
The thing
Yeah.
is, the reason why I was so angry that podcast like got lost was because it was like literally a pretty fun one, and I think I
Doctor Sleep. It was Doctor Sleep.
No.
we
No.
did Dr. Sleep.
Wait.
We
We
have
did
Doctor
Doctor
Sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah,
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know.
Uh,
I don't
it
know.
was around Doctor Sleep. It was either the one
Dr.
before or
Sleep.
the one after.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Doctor Sleep, we had a false alarm with losing it. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was whatever pod was adjacent to Doctor Sleep is the one that only recorded Red.
Yeah.
Right.
And oh, it's gonna kill me now trying to figure that out. It's gonna dawn on one of us in the next 15 minutes.
Yep.
We also watched a movie once this year that we decided was just not fun enough to do a pod on.
Yeah, I was
I
falling asleep during that movie.
I will take the hit on being the one who suggested the movie. We watched
Yeah, you
the
will.
we watched the Netflix horror movie, folk horror movie Apostle, which is a as a fan of folk horror movies, I enjoy the movie, but there was so little for us to talk about. If we actually did a pod on it, and that was going to be our spooky pod around Halloween,
Yeah,
and if we actually did a pod, we'd have actually spent the whole time talking about the Wicker Man instead because
Yes.
Apostle is like a not funny Wicker Man.
pretty much.
Yes.
Well, we replaced it with Blade, right?
We did
The,
Blade
the
instead.
Halloween
Yep.
special. Yeah.
Yep.
Well, the thing is, like, we do relevant podcasts for holidays. We just don't publish them until weeks later.
Right, exactly. Right.
Right.
What good podcasts do is take the hit personally and do it out of season so the listeners can experience it. But
Right,
no,
right.
we're more selfish, and
Yeah.
you're gonna have to deal with it, listeners.
This podcast is 100% for us.
Right.
Exactly.
So
100%.
yeah, we're not doing the Halloween podcast in September, so you guys have it for Halloween. We're doing the Halloween podcast after Halloween because we wanted to watch the movie on Halloween.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Also, credit to Red for doing a lot of the heavy lifting on software editing, all the stuff that happens off the mic is really all Red.
Yes.
And And
I don't know what you're saying with a lot of. It's literally all of it, other than sometimes we write like an opening.
like I think you decide what you're going to say and then stop listening, because immediately before you said that, I said all of the work that's off the mic.
Before that, you said most of it. So just
right.
Just
So you're just your brain's just on a delay. You're responding to the thing I said 2 things ago.
Right.
Yeah. And it works out because like some of the stuff is like relatively unplanned. So if I'm missing like portions, I'll just record it later, and like I don't have to do any like. There's no. I cut huge chunks of when I say stuff, or like when I ramble, or when I argue, and I'm just like. So there are times when I seem completely unreasonable, and I am, but I'll cut that part out so it looks like you're unreasonable during the podcast.
Yeah, I've noticed that. No, because there's no times I'm unreasonable organically. But that's
I always alter it so that I win every argument whenever we do the podcast.
No, he does.
He also on me, trust me.
Yeah, he leaves out the parts where he looks stupid.
Yes, but
he leaves in the parts where we look stupid.
I normalize and sometimes I duplicate the parts.
Well, that's another thing we did early on, where we had this big like, okay, everyone listen to it after we just recorded it and find what we should cut. And like we had ambitions of like really and it's just like it'd
be great if this was our job and we had time for it, but like everyone has full-time jobs.
Exactly.
This is really you already said it. This is for us.
Yeah, exactly. Like
it's 10:51 on a Wednesday night, ladies and gentlemen. Like we're
first time one of us. Yeah, we're gonna one of these days we're just gonna go through them and like have a few drinks and just play these podcasts. Like that's it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do occasionally listen to us for fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Same. I listen to every like other podcast pretty frequently, pretty soon after it comes out, and the rest like wait until I'm in a mood. But,
you only listen to the podcast you introduce. That is the rule for you.
I listen to all of the podcasts introduced, but I do also listen to other episodes. Thank you very much.
This guy.
Wait, to other episodes. So you're admitting you don't listen to every episode?
Yeah, he said every other. So every episode he hosts.
No. I've listened to all of them eventually, but like not half of them do I watch like the week it comes out. Some of them I'm like, it's like 2 weeks later, and like yeah.
Got it. Those are the ones you listen to right away, not the ones you listen to at all. Got it.
I also listen to others right away, but yeah, I am more vigilant in quick listening to ones I introduce. I'm not gonna sit here and lie to you about it.
And then of course, yeah.
No, go ahead.
We have to talk about our amazing soundtrack. So I know it sounds like there's like 7 people singing this awesome sea shanty, but it's only us 3 messing up 4 times it included on each one. But it's a crew.
I Blue. I don't know who that other guy is. But like Blue myself. I kept on getting the timing. So let's back up a little bit. The way we did this is I think it was from the Assassin's Creed 4 soundtrack.
It's a real sea shanty.
No. It's a real sea shanty, but like there was a specific version. I think it was the Assassin's Creed 4. It's a real sea shanty, but we had to get a specific version so that we were using the exact timing, and we just put on headphones, listened to it while singing into a microphone with words we couldn't hear from our mouths.
Yeah.
And the first like 2 times, my timing was off.
That's Hollywood magic for you. You thought we were all in the same room singing? Nah, we were miles away.
Yep. And then Red just layered them over each other and called it a song.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the instructions were, okay, listen to the song and sing it. And for some reason, Blue had to sing it with weird voices every time. Like, twice he did weird voices.
I did weird voices once.
But you heard us! You heard our tracks, and we did not sing with weird voices.
No.
It wasn't consciously weird. It was being self-conscious about my voice.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like literally was like, I'm gonna try out this voice. Like,
no.
Because you did what? Remind me. You did one that was more like your normal voice, and one that where you're singing like low, right?
Right, and the low one was the first one because it's just like I feel weird singing in my normal voice. Let me see how this sounds, and then
Right.
and then we ended up using both. I think.
So then Red says, okay, so we've got the version with red, gray, and blue's deep voice, and then we got the version with red, gray, and blue's normal voice. Here, which one do you guys like better? And I was far from sober and said, hey guys,
Yeah,
what about both?
yeah.
We put both of them on.
I was far from sober and agreed to it, and there
and
we have
and
it.
and Red made a new version that layered all 4 tracks. So when you listen to that, it's one of Red's voice, one of my voice, and Blue doing 2 different voices.
Right.
These multi-talented. And
Yeah.
for the next season, we should definitely create a new soundtrack.
Well, when
Yeah.
that single goes platinum, that means you get double royalties.
That's true.
Exactly. Like Danny Elfman and singing The Simpsons at the beginning of Simpsons, getting his kids through college or whatever
Exactly.
that story is. Yep. There we go.
We're going big.
Has there
You
ever been a pod you didn't bring up Simpsons in?
There has been. I mean, your point isn't invalid. Hyperbole. It's the best thing ever. Womp womp. But like, yes, I really like The Simpsons. It's fun. Also,
So-
screw you.
So we decided that we would end this portion of podcast in like seasons, like how normal television shows do it. So we could kind of readjust and make things new. So the next set of movies were going to be on a different format completely, because the format that we started off with and kind of evolved out of for the last episode, what you hear, like, I know these podcasts are so long, but they are even longer than that.
Oh yeah.
They are 40 to 50% longer. And
Yeah, no, there's a lot of stuff we cut, and then there's just a lot of like BSing before and after that we're just like, don't put that in. just start it and end it here, and like, yeah.
yeah, we could never do this live. It just would never.
Yeah,
No.
I think 5% of what we cut is us saying our real names.
Yes.
5% of what we cut is us swearing.
Right. Rude. Feel like it's more like 37%. That's fine.
And the other 15% is Red editing us or himself out in moments where he looks bad.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
And then there's 15% of editing out my ums and stutters.
Mhm. And in fairness, some of our edits are when you're doing amazing things. Like, I think you were vamping for time, and I think that got edited out when you're making the one spreadsheet about what percent of Jet Li gets added to Jet Li after every Jet Li that Jet Li kills. And that's worth it. That
would definitely make it into an extras.
Yes.
Honestly, the spreadsheet I made is probably that's my proudest moment of this pod so far.
Yeah, I also want to show that to like friends and family without explanation and just see if they can figure out what the hell is going on there. Most can, but like, yeah.
I tried explaining that to someone, and I was like, I made a spreadsheet that showed how much more power Jet Li got when he killed other Jet Lis in the one, and they're like, what is wrong with you?
And in our little world of this podcast, that's an incredibly rational decision. But once you go outside of that, you realize you sound like a crazy person. And like, yeah. Gonna pull up that spreadsheet. Hold on.
It's a good one, man. We should put that on the Dinner for Wolf website.
It is. It's on there.
It is on there already?
Yeah, on that
Okay,
recording.
good.
That web. Yeah, don't worry.
Okay,
it's
good.
there.
In our show notes? Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just in case you ever want to calculate how many of yourself you'd have to kill.
It shows the dedication, either that or the incredible like soul eater junkie that he was. It's either that or dedication.
Yeah, because like I mean, not to belabor the point, but like from killing like number 4 to number 5, right? That would be like the difference between like a high pollen day and a not high pollen day if you've got allergies.
Right. Or like, your coffee was a little weak one day. Like
you got like something like the barista gave you decaf by mistake.
Yeah,
exactly. Like
so question for you, gents: which I got actually two different questions that are very related, but make sense. Of the movies we've done, which one did you have the most fun watching so
I
far
mean,
this year?
it, it's. I mean, it's Godzilla versus Kong. Like
That's
it just
definitely
was.
yeah. It's
Like
either that one or Mortal Kombat. Like
I was
one
gonna
of
say,
the two. Yeah.
Mortal
So
Kombat's
Mortal
my
so
Kombat is
second choice.
hilarious to
Yeah.
watch.
so
Yes.
that's the one that was the most fun to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I've got the list pulled up just so I don't forget anything. Yeah, it's tough to say an old favorite is the most fun to watch because it's something like you've already seen it 100 times. You know, like
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't say RoboCop because I know everything's going to happen in
Yeah.
RoboCop.
Now here's the thing. We stopped watching them together after the fourth or fifth movie. So
Yep,
watching them together, of course, is way more fun than like watching them by ourselves.
that's true. That's true. Yeah. So I yeah probably Godzilla vs Kong and Mortal Kombat. Yeah, probably
Yeah.
because we watched those together
Yeah.
and those were hilarious movies to watch together.
But for a movie that you watched by yourself and enjoyed, like actually just like you forgot that you're supposed to be taking notes and like coming up with interesting points. I'd either have to say Batman or Doctor Sleep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Batman. But really, it would be those two for me. Except I'd already seen Doctor Sleeps before, so I was watching
Yeah.
it for the second time with
Yeah.
for the pod. So
I
yeah,
would say
I go Batman.
Yeah, I would say for that category, and I mean we had the same thing because I liked more than you guys. TMNT, I liked that movie when it came
Oh,
out. It was a
you
little
enjoyed that?
nostalgia
Yeah.
journey for me. Like I
Hmm.
enjoyed.
Got that nostalgia hit. Couldn't get
Hmm.
Yep.
Hmm.
went back for more.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
What?
Uh-oh.
The anti nostalgia guy
Yeah, this guy
got
hates
a
it.
hit of nostalgia he liked.
I you know I don't claim to not be hypocrite all the time.
No, no, no,
Okay.
no, no, no. You know what?
No.
No, I retract. I retract my statement because you don't like when something new uses nostalgia as a way to make you like it.
Right. Exactly. This was
This was an
actual
actual
nostalgia.
old thing that was
Oh yeah,
nostalgic.
yeah,
So
Exactly.
I retract
yeah.
my
Thank you.
criticism.
Thank you. But
I had it wrong.
to the point, I mean, thank you, but also more point, it's like when they do it, like, well, like solo, not that we did solo, but like, hey, remember Parsec? Dude, it's like, don't be hacky about it.
Yeah.
Like, just like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I'll flip
yeah.
it around. What's the one, and I suspect we'll have the same answer. What's the more, not even necessarily like the worst, because of what we do, I have fun with all of them, but I'll ask it this way. What's the one that made you ask, what am I doing with my life watching this movie for this podcast right now?
Oh,
There was
easy.
definitely some long
Jujitsu.
ones. Yeah,
Jujitsu.
Yeah,
jujitsu,
Jujitsu.
definitely
it's
jujitsu.
jujitsu. What's this? Because I think we have the same answer for both of these. Jujitsu is the first. That is the proper answer. What
Yeah.
is the second?
Oh man, let me look at the list.
It should be I feel like it should be a very clear number two, too.
Um you know what? I'm between two on this.
Okay.
You're talking about like the like least valuable movie to watch, right?
Least valuable movie, but also like just moment of like, so it's come to this. The choices I've made in my life have led to me watching this on assignment to
And
do.
and obviously Apostle doesn't count because we didn't actually do a pod on
Yeah.
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so jujitsu is easy number 1, far and
Correct.
away.
Yes.
Number 2 is distant number 2, and I don't know how I'd rank the two of them. It's either Fat Man or Army of the Dead.
Ooh,
Correct
yeah.
answer. The correct answer is Fat Man, but Army of the Dead
Yeah. Those
is a
two.
good answer.
Wow.
Like
Army of the Dead was just so long.
I
It
think I
was.
think I think you're right. I think Fat Man's is second worst movie to watch. Army of the Dead is third, but they are
Yeah.
closer than they should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. But here's the difference. Army of the Dead was just like it had its fun moments, and it was just too full of itself and whatever. Fat Man, like I wasn't sure I wasn't having a stroke at like 3 different occasions watching
Yeah.
Fat Man.
Oh yeah.
It's just like, what are they being funny? They not? Do they think it's good? I can't tell. Like that was my entire experience watching Fat Man.
I watched Fat Man with my wife, and
Oh God,
as soon as it was
apologize to her
over,
for us.
she turned to me and said, "How are you going to make a podcast about that?"
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly don't remember on the podcast on that. Was it even like an entertaining podcast to talk about? Like, I don't even remember.
I think
we had fun with it. We had fun with it because we really ripped on the how silly the kid murder plot was and all that.
Yeah, I
think
we picked apart its bad logic and talked about Mel Gibson being a horrible person.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But but my wife was like, that was bad and not funny. Good luck.
Right. Right. Because it's like there's the movies where like they're so bad they're funny, and then there's the one like below that, and it's just like, and that was that with the surreal. Like what I think made that movie podcastable. I'm blanking on the actor's name, but the guy who
Walton
played
Goggins.
Walton Goggins
Yeah.
being just Walton Gogginsing all over the place.
Yeah.
Like made that movie surreal and bizarre enough to be
a heroic effort into that.
Yes.
Into that role, from what I remember.
He was he saved it as much as Kano saved Mortal Kombat, but Kano and Mortal Kombat were both much better. But he was that much above everyone else in that movie.
So moving on from best and worst movies, what do you think was the most fun pod to make?
I'm gonna look at the list again.
This is a tougher question for me because like it's clear which movies were the best, but like these were all fun to rip on and talk about.
I don't know. I think we had a Demolition Man was a good podcast.
Demolition Man is
There's just so much. We talked about that after and before for like a while. Like it was.
Yeah,
I think that's my answer too, because like we like. Because it was the right mix of, because I know I hadn't. I think it was the same for the two of you. I had not really watched it. I mean, I'd watched it like since it came, but I had not watched it in a long time, like 12 years, 15 years, something like that. And like what society is now versus then, how much we've like I forgot all about the three seashells. All of the crazy we forgot exactly enough of it for it to be an enjoyable experience for us organically, and remembered enough for it to be like we could do it, right?
Yeah, no, that's a solid answer.
Right. I mean, for the audience, we rewatched them, but like you're still kind of it had been a while, and it was like, oh god, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. No, I think you hit the nail on the head with that one. I can't. I'm looking, and I don't think there's any one that was more fun to do. Now, granted, I don't think that means it was our best pod because I think they've gotten better over time, especially since we moved away from the pre-recorded planned format.
Yeah.
And like watching it separately and then coming together and surprising each other with our takes, it is definitely better.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's our best pod, but I think it might have been the most fun one to talk about.
Yeah.
No, I'll agree.
Yeah.
So
man, there's so many. Oh, go ahead.
So here's the final thing then. What do you want to see or do going forth?
So I like that the past couple we started asking the moral of the story question. I think is great.
Yeah.
And I think adding a couple of more standard like, hey, like this is something that we do every pod would be helpful. And fun to work the same idea into different shapes on different films. So I think that would be good. We definitely have to do a new song.
Yep.
I would also not to hog, doing 3 ideas in a row here, but I would like us to have some music, not necessarily. I mean, we're gonna do a new song, of course, but I think we should have like intro, outro music, that kind of thing. That I will like twist my brother's arm and make him write for us.
There we go.
And then I like continuing the format of alternating, newer movie, older movie, newer movie, older movie, because there's so many classics I want to get through, but then there's also great stuff coming out that is more relevant.
Do you guys want another host? Do you guys want some guest hosts for the next season?
Oh man, yeah.
Okay. You're saying that. You're saying that as someone who has like particular guest hosts in mind, which has me.
I have no.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Could we? It's hard enough for the three of us to schedule time together. So it's rough.
I
But
would say sometime. I wouldn't want it to be every time.
no, no, no,
I
no, not
like the
every, yeah.
but like
But like a
once
specific
every
movie and a specific
yeah.
person, like an expert of that movie, like what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I like
So
it. I like it. I like
so
it.
I like the idea of an occasional guest host, and to tie it exactly with what you're saying, the guest host picks that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Yep.
specifically suited for that movie.
Right. Like I have a cousin, we're gonna call him Green for now,
Yeah.
who would have been over the moon to do
I
TMNT
say
with us.
I say we always use green. Always. They're just always green.
Whoever it is, their
Yeah,
name is Green.
Oh yeah, that's it.
yeah, I
Okay.
like it. I like it.
Okay. So yeah. There is a Green of the many Greens who's related to me, who would have been perfect for TMNT. So I think that's a great plan. I think guest host in the future is definitely where we're going.
All right.
I like all those ideas. I think and I really like the like you, Gray, the moral of the story thing, adding some of those in. So like generally I like that idea. One idea I've kind of had, and like you're about to see how little I've thought about it other than off, here and there, but like some sort of rating scale, but not like a how good is this movie 1 to 10. Like
Mhm.
1 or 2, whether they're the same or we just make them up for the thing. Like a like hyper specific silly, like what scale was this movie on that scene in Rocky 3 where Apollo and Rocky run in half shirts on the beach? Like how many of those hyper machismo 80s moments were in that, right?
So
On on a scale of 1 to 10 half shirts, how much
right.
that vibe was that movie? Right. Yeah.
So so our Army of the Dead could be like, on a scale of 1 to 10 rebar javelins.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Or so it could be from that movie, or it could be from like a vibe of that movie from like an earlier movie. Like, did it hit this specific trope from this other thing? Like, something like that.
Gotcha. And so that could be like a, what is this on the half shirts on the beach scale of broness?
Right. You could also sub that in for Volcene and Top Gun, right? Like just how much quintessential 80s montage energy did the movie have, right?
Okay.
Yeah,
Let's do this right now, though. Okay. So if we're talking half shirts on the beach, jumping belly to belly hug.
Yes, that is
right.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So if we're talking that as our standard, that's a 1.0, right?
Okay. Yes.
What would you rate the shirtless volleyball double high five scene from Top Gun? Is that a 0.8? Is that a 1.2? Like, where does that fit relative to the half shirt?
That's close to the apex of it. Whatever number value we're going to, it's almost the max.
I think, and you can probably hear the lack of confidence in my voice as I give this rating. I think it's a 0.9. I agree it's almost at the apex. I feel like there's so much packaged in to the montage from earlier movies and just
So I'm really conflicted. I'm really conflicted on if it's above or below that. I mean, if we're talking the Mount Rushmore of 80s and 90s movies, like
machismo,
machismo bro moments,
dude, the Predator one.
I was about you took it out of my mouth.
Yeah, the Predator arm slap. Yeah.
Arm slap? You mean
handshake, arm slap, handshake, whatever you mean?
the world's manliest handshake?
Yes,
from Predator.
Yes.
The half shirt hug on the beach, the shirtless volleyball.
Yeah.
And what is number 4 on that Mount Rushmore?
Oh God, that's a good question. Oh,
because that's an easy 1 through 3.
Easy 1 through 3. And I feel like we should try not to go any one of those franchises for a repeat, right? Like, I mean, I guess if it's organic,
it has to be a macho like broing out moment.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
I mean, because if you're talking like just macho moments, you could talk like.
I think I got one. What do you got?
What do you got?
What is best in life?
You need another dude though. You need a bro for that.
We're
not just talking about.
I guess.
We're talking about like
Right, right. I mean, that's on the Macho
Yeah,
Mount
that's
Rushmore.
definitely Macho.
Right, but it's not Macho Bro. It's not Macho
Yeah,
Bro.
Yeah.
it's like
Um,
this is the scene where just like two guys like on the verge of and
yeah,
macho-ness,
yeah.
like the eclipse almost,
Yep. I'm trying. I should be thinking of what movie, but I'm trying to think of a good term for it.
Some of this might get edited out as we pause and think about it. Oh God.
Wait. Hold on.
We can do
How
this.
about
We can do
this?
this.
This might be too convoluted. But about whole macho eroticism.
Oh, macho
Oh
eroticism.
God.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Perfect.
Guys, we can do this. We just need what? Teddy Roosevelt, whatever the latest one is on Mount
Wait,
Yeah,
Rushmore.
what? Coming up with the fourth one? Did
Yeah.
you already have the
Oh.
fourth one in mind?
no, I didn't. No,
Oh, okay.
no. I was. It wasn't a quiz. It was a query.
Okay. So that's a rough one because you have like the three pinnacles and just like
Right.
But a
then you have
Rushmore's
like the
got to have
lesser
four.
ones. Yeah, it's
Yeah. We
yeah.
are. We are. Well, we'll have edited out a lot of that, yes. But I will move on to my other idea, and then we can see what happens. And this is sort of like, and this is sort of like the guest host thing. This would be a sometimes maybe like a grab bag, special feature episode, whatever. Of if we every now and then do like a short series or a video game or something. And my main inspiration for this is, and this would either be a great idea or a terrible idea, and it may actually be a terrible idea, but it might lead to good idea of to do it with Witcher 3, which I loved, and which Gray reacted by being just, why do you like this game? I don't understand. It's the grayest, bleakest, most boring thing I've ever seen, and me just trying to justify.
No, I think that's a good idea. I think like once in a while we do a podcast like this, and
Yeah,
after I'm gonna probably splice the next part in where we just talk about the stuff that we couldn't include in a movie podcast. Like
Yep.
like the next section, we got another 20 or so minutes left. We're gonna talk about just like what you've experienced in the year that you just like to talk about. Just like a little bit,
all right.
a little blurb on it.
No, I like that. One last point on things for the new year. I want to expand the Dinner for Wolfverse into more than just podcasts.
Okay.
Yeah, oh,
I
yeah.
think we should each do a little bit of writing and have some
Yeah.
stuff on the website, almost like blog style,
Yeah,
on
articles.
our
Pretty cool.
articles on our thoughts on individual things. These gentlemen already know I basically live tweeted them as I watched Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
My rolling review as I watched it. I'd love to recreate that. Also, I have a kind of a long form essay in my head already on the spiraling out of the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Yeah, totally, dude.
Like
You definitely should
I want to do
write
some
the
writing and
articles
yeah.
and then and just record yourself reading the articles.
Damn it, you're taking all my ideas. That's exactly what I was about to say. Is
Yeah,
I want the article on the website, but then there could also be like a solo gray like a gray soliloquy
yeah. We'll
of
do like a
of
YouTube video on it. Yeah,
of me reciting my essay on the Fast and Furious ridiculousness.
yeah, totally.
Yes.
We definitely should have articles and I definitely want to do more because there's movies are great, but again, we do tons of other stuff.
Yeah, I want the main pod to be the movies, but then it could branch out into all pop culture.
Yeah.
And, that could be the place where Blue can talk about how great that terrible game was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tell us all, tell us
So
the
many
amazing
game of
history and the draw of
so
Star
many
Citizen.
Game of the Year nominations, but that's
Right.
fine.
And I mean, now, granted that we need to also have one where I'm the guy with the target on my back because I'm the one who doesn't like it.
There we go. There we
Right.
go.
We need the group discussion where I can be the bad guy. But yeah, that's my final thought on things we want to add is I agree with expanding beyond just movies, but also expanding beyond just the group pod.
I think that works.
So here's to a brand new year and to a new season, and hopefully we don't get canceled because we don't want to cancel ourselves. Follow us on Twitter before Elon Musk buys us out.
Will be the one thing he bans.
I know, just the way you just like, no.
Oh
They'd be
my
like,
God.
free speech except these jerks.
So, over the last year, all the stuff that couldn't fit in a pod, movies, video games, music, whatever, any thoughts, anything? I'd like to start off with the Halo television series.
All right.
I have only watched 2 episodes. I could not watch anymore. It's very hard for me not to be able to watch something, even in the background, because I put garbage on the background. Like, literally, like, I've watched the worst things imaginable. Cooking shows, any mind-numbing thing I could put on the background. I could not do this with the Halo TV series. Did you guys watch any of it?
I did not. I did not.
When it was free for that one like week period or whatever on YouTube, I tried to watch the first episode twice, and both times started it at the end of the night and only made it like 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
So I've seen the first 15 minutes of the first episode twice.
It is inconceivable how bad that show is. The very first episode, I'm only going to talk about it for just like a couple seconds. He takes off his helmet. He doesn't put his helmet back on. And he just emotes. There's just scenes of him emoting all the time. Why? I don't know. Do it with story or dialogue or anything. It's just his ugly mug, like, feeling emotions all the time. It's just like, that's what they paid for. They're just like, all right, buddy, close-up cam, emote. And it is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Which, like, on a philosophical level, that is just so bananas, because that's the one thing the games literally never give you.
Exactly.
They never give that to you, ever. And the games as a whole, the series, let's say the series is beloved without that. So why did they decide that that was all they were going to give you?
I don't know. I don't understand. But that's the one thing that I saw this year that I was just like, I wish I could, just because I can't stand it. But
Oh no, I just to follow on that real quick is that I did see an article the other day that I forget which website it was, but there's an article saying that now that we've seen all of the Halo season 1, we need to stop giving Halo 5 such a hard time.
yeah, right.
So this is gonna be a little different because I have literally not been exposed to it at all, other than all the social media awareness, whatever. But so when Morbius came out and got terrible reviews from, he's like, all right, yeah, I know, right. This could be fun to make fun of. And I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check out a trailer and see and whatever. And I think I'd seen a trailer at some point, but I'll look into it. And then all things were like, no, seriously, this isn't even fun bad, it's bad. And then it went beyond that, and there's literally people on Twitter being like, the algorithm doesn't know you're being ironic. You're going to will a sequel into existence. Everyone stop talking about it.
It's amazing.
But it's tempting because it's going to be so easy to rip on. But I feel like we'd be lowering the bar too much.
Here's the thing. That's the problem with Morbius, right? Right now, I think it's gonna be amazing, but I don't want to watch it at all because just because of the rumors and everything else has elevated this thing to this Jared Leto type cult, right?
And it can't possibly and it can't be possibly as disappointing, and in this way, disappointing meaning fulfilling for us as we're expecting it to be, right? There's no way it's sort of like when
it's not going to be as funny. It's going to be kind of just a drab movie, but the Twitter things are just so good.
That's the thing. I think it's been built up so much that if we actually watched it, it will be 70% more bland than we're hoping for.
And it reminds me of, and I never saw any of these with the progression. So I lived in New York from 2009 to 2012, which I only bring up to say that I walked by a theater on Broadway, I was in Manhattan, and I saw something that said Spider-Man the Musical. And I said, oh, that's funny. Somebody made a joke about Spider-Man the Musical. And then a year later, there was Spider-Man the Music. And every review I've heard of that. So they did a preview. It was god-awful, worst thing people had ever seen. And then they made it better. And the critic for the Times that had reviewed the preview, after reviewing the next one, said they made it's still terrible, but they made it just better enough that it's no longer fun bad. and I can't even recommend it for that reason. And that's what I feel like we're setting ourselves up for with Morbius.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So will we do a Morbius pod? Doubtful. Because will we watch Morbius the movie eventually? Yes.
Right.
And it's gonna go the way of Apostle, where we plan on doing a pod, and then we watch it, and we all decide, yeah, no, that ain't worth it.
Right. Right.
Let's let that one fizzle out.
Yeah. Yeah. Gray, you got one for this list of missed or best avoided opportunities?
Not about avoided opportunities, but I not gonna go pop culture for a second. Just gonna go just sociology. So one of my brothers has started listening to our pod, and he's listened to every episode, right? Which is
Right.
Better
good.
than
Which
blue.
is good. He's enjoying it. What struck me as odd and hilarious and kind of awesome is that he is listening to the pods regardless of if he's seen the movie or not, and he's enjoying them just as much.
Excellent.
So
Excellent.
so he's just having fun with our banter and our takes, which is cool. Like, that's flattering, whatever. But the better part of it, where I'm really going with this, is that if it's a movie he's already seen, then it's, our takes are funny. If it's a movie he hasn't seen yet, it makes him want to watch that movie more and think of our takes while he watches it for the first time, which is something that just blew my mind because I've never in my life considered the idea of watching a movie when I've already listened to somebody else's takes on it to then expect to see the things that their takes were on.
We made it so that the movies are MSTing our riffing on the movies. That's
Right.
Oh god, my brains. Yeah.
Right. And in my conversation to him when he pointed this out, it's because he had listened to our Batman pod
Before watching Batman.
And hadn't watched Batman yet, but was gonna go with his wife the next week. And he's like, I can't wait to go see the Batman and watch your takes happen on screen.
A silly thought you had while watching a movie that made you chuckle, but you didn't think was pod worthy, or in hindsight you think it was and kind of wish you did. So in mine, my example is in the Batman when very end of that movie, where they're in his lair after he's been arrested, and there's that final the final riddle in the cage with the bat. And there's this long thing and the slow reveal of what does it say? And in my mind, all I could picture was he opens it up and it says, lol, this bat has rabies.
Dude, keep track of those, write them in an article, and you just you put it out, and that could be your contribution to outside of the pod.
There we go. There we go.
So, just in this year, just one thing that I just want to talk about, just briefly, and we'll kind of wrap it up. We should play video games after this.
Right.
That if you notice that things get sped up during our podcast, it's because we want to play video games right after this. It's
we're gonna play either Elden Ring, Halo,
or Overwatch.
maybe.
And that's what I want to talk about. How much we played Overwatch for four-ish years, 5 years probably.
A long time.
And there's no game that has replaced it. And I hate Overwatch. And it's just fun. It's it's the most fun you can have in a condensed amount of time.
Exactly.
If we play Halo, you're really only having fun if you're trouncing people, right?
Right.
And Elden Ring is great, but it's more of a it's clunky for the co-op. And it's better if we
need a larger block. You need a larger block of time, and I want to do this. Whereas Overwatch is just
let's help someone achieve a thing. Well, because what happens is we'll play for say an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And in an hour and 15 minutes, there will be 30 minutes that are amazingly awesome.
Yeah.
Right. And then the other 45 is kind of on autopilot, just having a good conversation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right, exactly. And and to that point, we never took it seriously. But or any games really. But I think we've just played it so much that there's this weird zen thing of well, that happened.
Yeah.
And
it's just and that's the thing. Okay, and when I say I hate Overwatch, it's I don't hate the game, but it's just this game has done nothing for the last 2 years.
Right. we got new skins. This guy's a new name. Like, right. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, yeah.
So, with all that being said, you guys want to play some Overwatch?
Yeah,
I do want to play some Overwatch.
All right, I'll see. That's the end of the pod.
Gray out.